Would you agree that people make some common mistakes during the process?
Sure they do. I mean,
what are some mistakes?
People are human. They'll make mistakes. One of the main ones when asking why did you leave your last job or why are you looking to leave, it's very easy to get negative. And people tend to be negative in general. That's how we are as humans a lot of times, and to accentuate the negative. So that's a problem. Number two is money. If you're an employer, you want to determine is there a fit. The employer holds the goal. They hold the job. You need to play by their rules, and if you bring up money too soon, they'll think that all you're interested in is simply money and not really the company.
The opportunity,
you really need
the position.
You need to research the company and make, in the employer's mind anyway, make it appear, whether it's true or not, but you need to make it appear as though this is a good fit, you've researched it, and you understand why it may be a good fit.
I'm here for a good reason.
You bet. What can I do for the company, not what can you do as a company for me and my career.
Good advice, very good advice. Janet is on the line right now. Janet, what's your question?
My question is, I was terminated from my last job because they said it was unsatisfactory performance, but I want to know, and I was there 6 years, I want to know what should I put on applications when I fill out new applications. I mean, I don't want to put that on there.
Is your question then when you're applying for a new position and you have to fill out an application and it says, why did you leave your last position?
Right, I just have been putting terminated, but what's your advice?
Well, that's one of those awkward ones. I think what you may want to do is to put something in there that may say, would like to explain, or something could detail in more, really talk in more detail about it. Problem becomes when people see that, they may not want to get involved, not want to learn. But there are a lot of reasons, position eliminated. You can, if there were multiple reasons why you were let go, maybe a change in management, new philosophy with the company. There are a lot of ways to kind of massage that and still stay within the bounds of reality. It's tough though.
Yeah, it is tough, and maybe have someone else read it after you write it and say, what do you think, what impression does that leave? Carla has a question for us this morning. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning. I was calling in the reference of if you have looking for a job, okay, and the felony that you have and you're not being there anymore, why do jobs don't recommend people that need a second chance?
That's a question that comes up every time I'm here, and there's not an easy way around that. The concern is, hey, I've had a felony. How do I sell around that? You sell around that through references that can speak to your skills, your integrity. You can speak to, look at my career since the felony, what I've done. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, and you did what you did. And then you've got to try to sell around that with enthusiasm and the word of other people. And there's not an easy way around that sometimes. Depends what the felony is, depends what the job is too.
Don and Graham has a question. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just have a quick question. My brother was terminated from his job. He had been with a company for 17 years. And he went to he worked with one company, then he went to a similar company just like that. And then they said that he had bad performance. Is there anything do they check? I guess what I'm trying to say is they check where he was previously employed for 17 years. Did they go back to the one day he was at for like 2 or 3 months?
It's all open game. They'll check wherever they can. One of the things in the other person's favor is a lot of times companies don't want to get sued. They don't want to get involved. The questions usually are the person worked from this time to this time, and the second question, would they be eligible for rehire? And that sometimes is a pretty telling blow if the answer is no. But here again, there are a lot of reasons why people leave jobs, and it could be mutual, it could be any number of things, and so sometimes you can try to sell around that. But here again, just like little breadcrumbs where you've left them throughout your career, they can sometimes come back to be a detriment for you.
Rochelle's on the line in Greensboro. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question?
My question is, I'm not going to name the job, but I was employed, and I went out on medical leave, and they terminated me while I was on medical leave, and I wanted to know what could I do.
I'm not an attorney. I don't know some of the laws that might be involved there. that's an issue. I think you really need to talk to an employment attorney to understand what your rights would be on that. I'd hate to really steer you one way or the other.
And it might depend on what type of medical leave, if you're out for pregnancy versus
Exactly.
a different type of an extended leave or something of that nature.
And if somebody calls in sick once a week, especially on a Friday or a Monday, and they have a habit of those things, then that may draw suspicion. But here again, I don't know what the circumstances are.
Right,
You need
but
to check into your rights.
there are attorneys who specialize in employment law, and that's probably a
You
good
bet.
question for them.
Quick tip.
Yeah.
Quick tip, this time of year is a good time to network and to look for work.
Really?
Most job hunters right now realize that companies aren't doing a lot of hiring, and so they just sit back and wrap Christmas presents or whatever. Get out and talk to people now, because when hiring starts come first of the year, you want people to have you first of mind. So don't sit back, be active this time of year. Most of your competition is on the bench.
Good advice from the expert. Randy, thanks very much. Shannon?